Good evening, everybody. It is me, Jeff, your commissioner, your host of this week's episode for Warrenton's finest fantasy football leagues, Week 5. Week 5 recap, Week 6 preview. Can you believe it, folks? The season is already nearly 1/3 over. Nearly. I had to do math. What's a third of 17? I still just am not quite over the fact that they added a whole extra game. Everything in my mind for football math is in the relation to 16 games in a season. I don't think I like the 17. I don't like it. You think I'd like an extra week, but no, I don't like it. I like that 8-8 was 500. Now you can't have a team be 500. Like, what's up with that? That's pretty wild. Every other sport has an even amount of games. 82 in basketball, 162 in baseball. I think it's like 86 or 88 in hockey. What are you doing with 17? 17. Anyways, all right, that's not why we're here. Why are we here? We're here because for whatever reason, I started doing this and you're stuck with me doing this and hoping that you're going to watch it. Anyways, Week 5 recap. Minute and a half preamble. Come on, Jeff. You're wasting people's time. Let's get into it. Holy smokes, Dan. We had what a wild adventure we had this week. I have never been more disgusted with myself leaving 36 points on my bench. Zach Moss, 36.5, and I didn't start him. I thought maybe Dalvin Cook would make more. Nope. 2 points for Dalvin. Going into that Monday night game, all you needed, Dan, was for your quarterback, I think, to get like 15 points, which should be very doable for a quarterback. Thankfully, he got you 5, and I win. So, you don't have to hear me whining for 10 minutes. I can be happy, at least for this week. So, good battle. That was hard fought. That was wild. I am grateful to win. And that's all I can say, because that might be the only time I can say that for the rest of this year. Next up, we had Team Queen going up against the Weasel. And would you believe it, folks? We were going into this week with 2 teams who had not won a single game. Husband and wife. They do everything together. They lose together 4 weeks in a row. And then, would you know it, spoiler alert, I guess that's my new catchphrase. Greg's probably going to point that out in this week's recap chat bashing. Team Queen beating the Weasel 120.08 to 81.32. And Hannah, something very interesting here is the Dallas defense. If you just look at the points they've scored, week 1, 35 points. Wow. For a defense. Next week, 16. Wow. Next week, -2. What's going on, Dallas? Next week, 26. Holy cow. And then last week, -3. So, you either get plus 25 or you get -5. It's kind of a weird thing, but continue playing them because that's your highest scorer, I think, for the year. Although Joe Burrow's finally starting to get in a groove. Speaking of Joe Burrow getting in a groove, wow, Uncle Touchdown taking on slightly above average team. And Jason, it is impressive to have a player score 46.7 points and yet lose 109.3 to 104.6. This was a nail-biter. Sean almost had his undefeated reign brought to an end. Unfortunately for Jason and the rest of us, that didn't happen because just a couple other folks Breece Hall, 30.9. So it's not like you end up against somebody that didn't score a ton, but still, 46 to lose is pretty wild. But that was a 5-point game. It was a nail-biter. It was indeed. Moving on, Gone Fishing. Talk about a nail-biter. Gone Fishing taking on the undefeated defending champ 2 times, Mike, Team Midnight. And this game was just back and forth the whole time. In fact, actually, I think the projections look like Mike had no chance. Yet, as things will happen, as they do in fantasy football, projections don't mean anything except broken dreams and heartburn. Going into that Monday night game, I think it was basically tied. Mike had Green Bay defense, and Matt had Devontae Adams. And wouldn't you believe it, Mike gets his first victory of the year. How does it feel, Mike? Does it feel good? I would like to get some of the credit. I called you out and told you to, fix your team, and you did. Would you look at that? 110. That was your most points you scored all year. 110.64 to Matt's 105.56. It was a hard-fought battle. Good scoring on both sides. Sam Howell, you might want to consider playing him over Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, but that was pretty wild. Anyways, good job, Mike. We're very happy that there's no more teams without wins. Speaking of teams without wins, undefeated starting later, taking on the Wanakee Squirrel Salads. And Michael, you do have a win, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen again. You didn't have a great week, but if you take a look at the score, Greg's 127.6 to your 87.5, a margin of 40 points. But if you take out DJ Moore getting 48 points when he was only projected, again, guys, this is the thing with projections. What do they mean? They mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. Projected 14, no, excuse me. I don't know. I can't tell. Probably around 12 to 14 points projected, and he ends up getting 48. That's insane. If you take away that 48 and put someone else that only had 8, you guys tied. So, moral victory, right? Probably not. Anyways, Michael, I'm very sorry that you lost, but I will take partial blame for this one. I did last week tell people to start the Washington defense against the Bears because the Bears have no offense. And then, wouldn't you know it, -5 for your Washington Commanders defense, plus 48 for DJ Moore. And then moving right along to Field of Dreams taking on bye week, Justin Fields 33.98 for Carlos. I mean, the Bears were listening. Maybe they're watching my video. No one else is. So you're welcome. I motivated you guys. That's what we call bulletin board material. So going into the final matchup, we had bye week, or Chat GB Lee, as I'm trying to make catch on. It's super clever. It took me a while to come up with that word. It's late and I'm tired. I got it right that time. How about that? All right, bye week 94.5 to Field of Dreams, Carlos 108.68. And this was basically the battle of bye week versus bye week, if you look at it. Y'all had a ton of folks on bye week, and this one looked like it was going to be a blowout. I think Brandon had projected 60 points at one point, and yeah, Kittle 26 points, Jets defense 18, but it wasn't enough. Consistent performance from Field of Dreams. Actually, not really. Justin Fields saved you that time, and Kelsey and Ridley. Oh, thank goodness for the NFL that Kelsey's not out hurt, although he's questionable for this week's matchup, making the Thursday night game even more of a stinker for Carlos. What's going to happen? All right, well, there's our recap. Let's take a look at the standings. We have still just one undefeated team, Uncle Touchdown 5-0 in the East Division, tied in second place for the East, Wanakee Squirrel Salads and Gone Fishing at 3-2, and then a three-way tie for fourth place, because I guess we skipped third place and fifth place and sixth place. How the heck does that work? Anyways, slightly above average, Team Touchdown and Dallas Chef Boys, all 2-3. Moving on to the West Division, we've got bye week, got his first loss of the year. Brandon, so sorry, but you're at 4-1. Then we have two teams, Field of Dreams and the Weasel at 3-2, and then three teams of strange 1-4. Hannah, Mike, and Michael 1-4, and that's not so great. But there's always next week. We had some people getting into hot streaks. We've got, streaks of 5 wins in a row for Sean. Everyone else actually has only won 1 week in a row. Everyone else is just losing. So we're just trading wins, guys. Sean's the only one that's consistent with what he's doing. So we're real proud of you, Sean. Just kidding. I know you take a lot of hate in the chat. People hate winners. People hate winners. That's just how it works. I hate you. Love you. All right, looking ahead to next week, we've got our week 6 matchup. Wanakee Squirrel Salads 3-2 going up against Moi at 2-3. Greg's projected 118 to my 108. Boo! I'm gonna beat you, maybe. Gone Fishing at 3-2 going against Team Queen. Husband beat Matt. Can Queen beat Matt this time? Can wife do what husband did? equality of the genders in marriage. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, right now, Hannah, I think you really need to check your team. You're projected to lose 110 to 73. I'm fairly confident you've got some people on IR, some people on bye week. So just take a look at that. Take a quick look at that. Bye week, Chat GB League, go up against Team Uncle Touchdown. This could have been 5-0 versus 5-0, but Brandon blew it. So now it's just a 5-0 versus a 4-1. Maybe we'll have 2 5-1 teams. Or maybe Sean will continue to roll. Right now, projection, Sean, 118 to bye week's 98.6. Undefeated starting later, much later, probably next season. Going up against Team Touchdown, Dan projected 115.5 to Michael's 104.3. Then Field of Dreams going up against your slightly above average team, which right now you're slightly below average because you're 2-3, Jason, going against Carlos's 3-2. Jason projected 117 to 114. These are high projections, folks. Wow. And then the final matchup, Team Midnight against the Weasel. Mike, take another look at your team. I think you've got right now someone in your lineup that's on an IR, couple in bye week, one that's projected 1 point, so you probably don't want to start that person. Projected to lose 81 to 113 for Paul. So there you have it, folks. I'm at my time. I'm actually above time. I was joking that this is usually 10 to 11 to 12 minutes long. I'm at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm going to end it right now saying, get your pet spayed and neutered and have a wonderful week, everybody. So long.